Hey Canucks fans, welcome to Clay's Canucks Commentary. It is Wednesday, April the 10th. I'm Clay Emo, I'm at Canuck Clay on Twitter. I'm at Clayton Emo on Instagram. I'm the founder of the GLCPC, the Good Looking Canucks Positivity Club, and this is my Canucks take, all in one take. The 2019 Stanley Cup playoffs begin tonight. A few series kick off, and I'm here to give you my predictions, my entire first round predictions. Bit of drama last night, as you know, the NHL Draft Lottery, not only for the Canucks who fall one spot from 9th to 10th. You can see my reaction video from yesterday to get my instant reaction. That would make sense, this reaction video. But more of the drama was around the fact that the results seem to be leaked on the internet or on TV, then the internet, almost a full 20 minutes before the results, the formal results were actually announced. So make sure you check out my video from yesterday to get my instant reaction on not only the Canucks falling one spot, but to the leak and to the reaction to me sharing that leak. It was pretty crazy, made for a fun night on Twitter, but hey, today is a new day. Let's focus on these 8 first round matchups. And as always, we'd love for you to leave your comments below. Tell me where you think I'm right, tell me where you think I'm wrong, where have I hit the mark, where am I out to lunch? Would love to hear your predictions. Read your predictions down below. So let us start in the West, in the Pacific Conference. Let's go Calgary and Colorado. I have the Flames in 5. I think they are too strong. They are too deep up front. They are strong on the back end, led by Mark Giordano. You know, goaltending, whether it's Rittich or Smith, I think it's okay. It's good enough to get them past Colorado. Colorado, sure, you have Landeskog. You certainly have McKinnon. But, you know, after that, you don't have a lot, especially if Rantanen, I'm not sure if he's going to start playing already. If he does play, obviously that gives the Colorado a bit more firepower. But I still think throughout the lineup, they are not as deep as Calgary. And Calgary won the Western Conference for a reason. So look for the Flames to win in 5. The other one is San Jose, Vegas. Now I think this one's going to be tight. I think this one's going to be tough. San Jose, star-studded lineup, right? They're deep up front, and they're certainly deep on the back end with Burns and Carlson and Vlasic and all those guys. Martin Jones, a question in net. Vegas, you know, I wasn't sold on them. I thought maybe last year was a bit of a fluke, but then I saw them play live last month in Vegas when they lost to the Minnesota Wild. Sure, that was a loss, but that was the night they clinched their playoff spot, and I was so impressed with how hard they work and how fast they skate and how dangerous they are in the offensive zone. Their D is just okay, with Schmidt, Theodore not as strong as maybe San Jose's D, but I give the edge to Vegas in net with Fleury over Martin Jones. And Fleury, we've seen he can catch lightning in a bottle. He's a Stanley Cup champion. It's going to be a hard-fought series, but I see Vegas beating the Sharks in 7. So Pacific Division, of course, Colorado joining that division as one of the wild cards. Calgary in 5 and and Vegas in 7. Let's try that again. Calgary in 5, the Flames in 5, and the Golden Knights taking all 7 games to beat the Sharks in a hard-fought series. Let's move down to the Central. We have Nashville versus Dallas. I've seen a lot of people saying this is a pick'em. I still think Nashville is a deeper team. There's a reason why they won the division, where Dallas is a wild card, albeit the first wild card. I really like Arvidsson, the way he came back halfway through the season, he didn't start the season, but he's had a really strong season. You have Forsberg, you have Johansson, of course. Then on the back end, I still love Nashville's back end. You know, Subban underperformed a little bit, but you have Yossi, you have Ekholm, you have Ellis, and Picarini in net. I think that's too strong for Dallas to handle. Sure, Dallas is kind of interesting team, right? You got Radulov, you got Ben and Sagan, of course, Klingberg on the back end, but I think that Nashville's too deep, too strong, and they have the playoff experience from last year, getting at least all the way to the final, losing to the second round, not the final. They lost in the second round to Winnipeg, but I think Nashville takes this in 6. The other one is a pick'em. It's tough. Much like Vegas, San Jose, the Winnipeg-St. Louis series is going to be crazy. Those teams battled all the way to the very end, along with Nashville, for the division championship. St. Louis is hot. They're one of the hottest teams since January 1st. We got that goaltender Bennington, who will come in the runner-up as Calder Trophy to Elias Pettersson. But I have a soft spot for Winnipeg. You guys know they're my second favorite team. They're the team I'm going to put all my support behind since the Canucks are not in the playoffs. And in both of my hockey pools with my church guys and my mom's work friends, I loaded up on Winnipeg, on Wheeler, on Scheifele, on Laine, on Connor, on Morrissey, on Bufflin. I like them. I like Connor Hollaback in net. Will Binnington have some nerves? Who knows? Yeah, I get that St. Louis, is strong too. Obviously, Pietrangelo on the back end. And then they have a lot of scoring up front with Tarasenko and O'Reilly and Shen and all those guys, Jaden Schwartz. But I still give the edge to the Winnipeg Jets in a hard-fought series, take them in 7. So again, that's the Predators in 6, the Jets in 7. Then they will have a rematch of last year's Central Division final. Let's go over to the Eastern Conference. Let's start in the Atlantic Division. Tampa against Columbus. Well, how would you like to be Columbus? You hold on to Panarin, you hold on to Bobrovsky, you trade for guys like Dzingel and Duchesne, and you draw like one of the best teams in the modern age, the Tampa Bay Lightning. I think Columbus will take 1 game, but I think Tampa is going to win in 5. They're just simply too strong, and we know all the reasons why they're so good. Kucherov and Stamkos, and Point up front, and then secondary scoring of Gord and Johnson and Miller. So many good players there. Then on D, of course, led by Hedman, and then Vasilevsky in net. Too strong. Tampa Bay in 5. And the other matchup, Boston against Toronto. I don't like any these two teams particularly, but I don't hate them. You know, I'm over 2011 almost. Toronto, I'm not a Toronto hater. I just think Toronto doesn't match up well against Boston. And that first line of Marchand, Bergeron, and Pasternak is scary. You still have young guys on Krug and McAvoy on D with Chara, of course. Tuukka Rask, I think he's okay. And then you have secondary scoring too with Danton Heinen and guys like that. So I think Boston has enough. And Krejci, of course. I think Boston has enough to beat Toronto. Toronto, obviously very strong in offense with Marner and Tavares and Matthews, of course. The Nylander's in there, Kapanen's in there. You got the defense, not bad. You got Anderson and net. Again, I just have a gut feeling that Boston's going to beat Toronto, and it won't even take them 7 games. I have the Bruins in 6. So I got Lightning in 5 and Bruins in 6 in the Atlantic Division. Finally, we move on to the Metropolitan Division, also in the Eastern Conference. This one's interesting because you have Washington playing, actually 5 teams from the Metro made it, right? Washington, New York Islanders, Pittsburgh, Carolina, and Columbus. Columbus, second wild card, has to play the best team in the conference, Tampa Bay. I said Lightning in 5. So the first matchup you have is the division winners, Washington Capitals, defending champs, taking on the Carolina Hurricanes. Hurricanes have been a great season with their post-game celebrations and their first time making the playoffs in almost a decade, one of the longest streaks in the league. But I still think Washington has the experience. They have the savvy. They have the firepower. They still have Ovechkin. They have Kuznetsov. They have Backstrom. They are strong. They have John Carlson. They have TJ Oshie, and they have Braden Holtby, a proven winner. I think that's too much. I think they're going to rely on their experience. And yes, Carolina, it's kind of like the wily veteran versus the new upstart. I think Carolina's going to capture a lot of fans' attention, but I simply think they're not good enough. They're not deep enough. They got Aho, they got Teravainen, but there's just not enough there. There's a reason why Washington won the division, why Carolina had to sneak in as a wild card. So take the Capitals in 6. And then the Islanders versus Pittsburgh. This one's interesting. The Islanders beat Pittsburgh in the regular season. But you look at the scoring of the Islanders, I think Matthew Barzal was the leading scorer, and he only had like 60 points or so. Then you have guys like Anders Lee and Josh Bailey. You know, they're coached well. They played stingy defense. Actually, I'm not sure if they even played stingy defense or if they let a lot of goals in. No, they didn't outscore their problem. So maybe their goaltender played well. But how can you bet against Pittsburgh? How can you bet against Crosby and Malkin and Gensel and Letang and Kessel? You know, I don't know how you can bet against Pittsburgh in that way. So let's go with the Penguins over the Islanders in 6. So to recap, on the Western side, I got the Flames in 5, then Golden Knights in 7, then the Predators in 6, and the Jets in 7. In the East, I have Tampa Bay Lightning in 5, Boston Bruins in 6, the Capitals in 6, and the Pittsburgh Penguins in 6. Hockey fans, I love to hear what you think. Do you agree with my predictions? And I think the Knights San Jose series is going to be a tough one, but that's going to go to 7. I think Winnipeg and St. Louis is going to go to 7. I think those two are going to be the ones that go to 7, and they're both on the Western on the Western side in the Western Conference. And which, not only, I'd love to hear your predictions, I'd love to hear if you agree or disagree with my predictions, but I also love to know, not which series you're most looking forward to. Is it one of the two I talked about, Knights, Sharks, or Blues, Jets? Or is it Bruins, Leafs because of the intrigue? Or is it Columbus and Tampa Bay? Or is it even Carolina, seeing how they do against the defending champs? Leave a comment below. Talk about my predictions. Give me your predictions. Tell me about which series you're most looking forward to watching, and also tell me about which series you're not looking forward to watching. Whatever you read, whatever you leave, I'll read, react, and reply as much as I can. Subscribe if you'd like to. Like this video if you'd like to. And don't forget, I'm running my own hockey pool. Email me at clayimo@shaw.ca, CLAYIMOO@shaw.ca, and I'll send you all the details. It's an NHL confidence poll. You rank the 16 teams right now before Friday, and then you let it go until the end of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Let me know, email me if you want a copy of that spreadsheet, those rules, and I'll happily send it to you by the end of the day. Have a great day. God bless. Go Canucks, go.